Okay, I don't like that tone, so I'm gonna start over. Okay, finally have something fun to vlog about. We got a box. We're gonna take this sucker, meaning both built-ins, one step at a time, because that's the way the budget works. So I got a splinter. I literally just got a splinter. Oh my gosh, stand by. Oh my gosh, honey, I'm not kidding. It's in there. Okay, I think it brushed off somehow. Whew, literally broke into a sweat immediately when that happened. Clearly we need to do a little sanding back there still, but it's just 1x whatevers, like 1x4s, 1x3s. Some plywood back here. And I didn't even want to do the plywood, but we had to make sure the whole thing stayed square. I was like, why do we have to do plywood? We've already got a nice flat solid wall back there. You got to do the plywood to keep the thing square. So plywood, just paint grade, nothing crazy, you know, fancy. 1x whatevers, 4, 3, I think, and then just some trim. And we got a box. And then we'll get to the shelves and the doors later, but for a while, we're gonna live with the box. Okay, we painted the box more of our delicious light French gray by Sherwin-Williams. Primed it first. I always like to prime raw wood first before I paint it, because then you're gonna get like the true color that you went through 50 sample colors to figure out. And if you don't, you're just gonna get like a different tone of the color that you liked. So prime it up, buttercup, get it nice and white before you get it right. Okay. Another big change happened on the wall. And this is kind of a long story that ended up taking a few different turns. But we knew, okay, let me start at the beginning. We knew we wanted to plank this wall, but we weren't sure if we liked what happened in the reading room, meaning the contrast of the dark wood we used in the reading room in our last house, or if we wanted to use white planks back there to go along with the other white planks in the room. So we just used some vinyl. Oh, and then the most important thing is that we didn't want to tear down the crown molding that Brian the carpenter worked so hard to match to our existing crown molding. It was like miter mania in the corners, and he went to a lot of trouble to make two moldings that aren't the same match up a while back before we decided to plank the wall. So we didn't want to have to tear that all apart. So we wanted to just use like a vinyl plank, like a click lock vinyl plank, so that we didn't have to take down any of the crown molding, and so that the window trim would still stick out further than the planks. Like I feel like if we had used regular pine, the window would have just gotten swallowed up and been kind of like flush with the planks. So this was like an inexpensive way to get a plank look. We didn't actually click them all the way together. We kind of left them apart and nailed them to the wall that way. And to try out a dark wood color. So we tried it out, and as you can see, we decided against it. So we ended up painting it with, Farmhouse paint. It's like, says right here, it's the easiest to use, no top coat needed, no wax needed, no prep needed. Like you can literally paint this on glass from what I've heard, and it sticks to everything. So we just went ahead, since this up there is vinyl and kind of slickish, we just went ahead and used that. Right now, it's got 3 coats of this on it. So we feel like that's a pretty good base. And then next up, we're gonna paint our Simply White wall color as the last coat. So it's not completely the right shade yet, but it gave us a nice hardcore base to paint our Simply White color on. Now, whether or not, if I took my fingernail up there and just scratched the heck out of it, I don't know if it would just scratch back to this dark wood. We're not gonna try that. And it's not in an area where like tons of stuff is gonna max, no growling. Tons of stuff is gonna touch it ever, so I'm totally fine. And maybe distressing would look cool. I don't know. We're not even going to go there. But where we are going to go is to this delicious reclaimed weathered wood from Stikwood. Do you know about Stikwood? I'm partnering with them on a fun project that, stand by, we have a growling dog. All right, so I'm partnering with them on a project that kind of came out of nowhere. We hooked up via email, and then I was like, yeah, I'd love to stick it somewhere. And then finally figured out that it's going to be on the fireplace in the built-ins. So it's so cool because it's literally like super thin reclaimed wood that has like a sticky back sticker type deal that you just peel off and stick to whatever. So we're going to stick it right to this framework, right to this face frame. Even the face frame on the fireplace, and even down in here, I've got a piece wedged so you can see that in there right now. And then I'm not sure if the doors will be clad with stickwood. Maybe they'll just be plain to kind of, you know, I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But I think it's going to be really cool because it's going to make it look all extra farmhousey, aged, chippy awesome. It's my favorite style. So that's the plan. We're sticking to it. And once we get this guy together this week, I'll come back with a blog post and show you how it turned out. I don't know if that'll have shelves and doors because, you know, like I said, we got to take it step by step. But I'm excited to see how just sticking this stuff works.